I'm Jen and this is episode 73. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's joining me today. Welcome to new viewers, welcome back to returning viewers, and also if you're interested in finding me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Ravelry, and all of those links are down below. And you can also go to my artisan hand-done yarn shop at traintrackfiberdesigns.com. Alright, so let's get started. I have a few things that I've stocked, so I'm going to show you those first. If I can get my photographs pulled up. So, it's not really a whole lot, and honestly, I think I've shown one of these in the past. So, I'm going to start with the newest thing. You've probably already seen this. This is the brand new Caitlin Hunter pattern. It was put out, I think, like Saturday, so not even a week ago. And I think you pronounce it Maritimo. Anyways, it's this. And it's a 2-color t-shirt shaped. It's very flowy, a lot of little lacy pretty details. Super cute. It's fingering weight yarn. It is $7 for the pattern, and I'm a big Caitlin Hunter fan. I don't know that I'll necessarily make this, but I think she's a really good designer, and I always like to support her. Even if I don't support her by buying the pattern, I like to support her and show you guys her stuff because I just think she does such a great job. And you know, I don't know, I've seen a few interviews with her and I think she seems like a really cool person too. So anyways, go check it out if you're interested. This lacy section right here, it is lace, so it's open. So it would be a really cool shirt, you know, for this time of year. I wish I could find linen yarn that was like cute, because I feel like all the linen yarn is like solid. Not that there's anything wrong with solids, but I'm more into that speckledy indie dyed type yarn. So I wish I could find some linen that was like that. The problem is linen doesn't actually take dye the same way as like wool or animal fibers, so it's really hard, you know, for somebody to achieve that look. That's why there aren't any really out there like that. But if there were, I think this would be more appealing to me because it's so hot where I live. Like, I can't imagine wearing a wool t-shirt. That seems like really hot. So anyways, next thing I'm stocking, this is called Thereafter, and it's a pattern by Alicia Plummer. It's $6.50 and it's in DK weight yarn, and I have a few pictures to show you of this. So this is the front of it. Very simple. There's no closures or anything. There are a little bit of different textures on the cuffs and on the bottom down there. I don't know if you can see, but it's like seed stitch, I think. Yeah. So that's cute. And then this is the back. This is what really made me be attracted to it. So the back of it has this little design going down the middle. And I think that's so cute. So once again, very simple, you know, to knit, so it would be very quick, but you have that super, super cute detail down the back that just sets it apart, but it's not so crazy out there that you couldn't, you know, I guess it doesn't really matter, but you know, you could wear this to work or whatever, and it's not like crazy item, I guess, even if you're a professional person. And then the last thing that I've put on my list, I think I showed you guys this probably maybe in the fall, but I'm going to show you again because I think it's cute and I don't know if I've actually shown you. This is called the 3-color cashmere cowl, and it's a Hohulakateli pattern. It's $4 for the pattern. It's fingering weight yarn, and you can just see it's a lot of textures, a lot of different textures and colors. It's 3 colors. And I really want to make an extra cowl because I made the one, what was it called? Land of Sweets from Helen Stewart last December, I guess. And I kind of want to make another cowl, and I did make that bandana cowl too. But I kind of want to make one more cowl because last year I had just the one, and that was the first time I ever made one. I enjoyed wearing it so much, and I kind of like, if I had a day where I had to wash it, I was kind of like, man, where's my cowl? You know, like I wouldn't mind having an additional one. So that way I'd have 3. So I don't know that I'm going to cast this on like immediately, but before it gets cold again, I really want to make one. And this has been in my queue for months, probably a good probably a good 6 months or so. And I just think it would be really fun to make that one. And once again, I always like Hohi Locatelli's patterns. She does a great job. Actually, every one that I've shown you today, every pattern I've shown you today, I've made something by these designers, and they're awesome patterns. So everything. I would highly recommend all of these, even though I haven't knit any of them. But I've knit things by the designers, and they're all amazing. So, all right. Now, you guys, I have a finished object and a new cast on, and we have a lot to talk about with this FO because there are things to say. So, I'm sure if you watched last week's episode, you probably know that my FO is the Campside Cardi, and this is an Alicia Plummer pattern. She's the one who designed the Thereafter cardigan that I just showed you. So, I'm assuming from this that pattern's awesome to knit as well and fits really great. So yeah, but this is done. I love it so much. So I blocked it, and I wish I'd taken a before and after picture, but I guess I have a before and after video. But it blocked out so great. I love it so much. I did not block the sleeves. Well, I mean, you can't help but get them wet, but I didn't like stretch them. I did, however, stretch the body of it quite a bit just to make that lay really flat. But now look at the difference. The sleeves are now shorter than the body by a good bit, which is great. The sleeves are still really long. Not that I expected them not to be, because whenever you block it stretches, but the sleeves are very long. I knit the sleeves long enough to where they basically come to like here on me, and it's perfect. I love it. Now, we have a little incident to talk about. But first of all, let me tell you what I have left for yarn. So the pattern called for, I don't know what size I made. I made like this size that would fit like a 36-inch bust. And it called for 5 skeins of DK weight yarn, and whenever I did the math, that would add up to be right for what I was using. And so I dyed up 5 skeins of yarn, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, I used less than 3.5 skeins of yarn. So I have 61 grams of yarn left. So that's cool. I always like it whenever a pattern does use less yarn than it called for, but at the same time, if I ever knit it again, now I know I'll only dye, 4 skeins or buy 4 skeins, whatever. But definitely don't think because I use less that you're gonna use less. So get what it called for if you are gonna make it, just because you might use more. I did not swatch, and I still have not swatched, but I did use the needle sizes that she recommended, and it fits me perfect. So there's that. And let me think, is there anything else I need to tell you about the pattern itself? The only alterations I made the sleeves about 2 or 3 inches longer than the pattern called for. And then, let's see, I made the button band about 1/2 inch wider than what it called for. And it's not really a button band because there's no buttons, but that's what I'm calling it. Now, I've run into a problem and I'm so glad that I don't weave in ends before I block, because this would be a nightmare right now, even more so than it kind of is. So whenever the pattern was written, she said she gave you a ratio of stitches to pick up, and it was just the standard, 3 stitches to every 4, pick up 3 of every 4 stitches. I don't know how it's worded, but that's pretty standard, for picking up stitches on something. And so that's what I did. However, it's been so long since I've made a cardigan, I didn't even think to make sure that I was picking up an even amount, like each side. So basically what I'm telling y'all is I have picked up somehow, even though I did the ratio, I felt like I was doing the ratio right, I've picked up significantly, like noticeably, less stitches on one side than I have the other. And so I don't know if you can tell by looking at it right here, but the side that's further back, I've picked up less stitches. And the side that's closer to you guys, I've picked up what I feel like would have been the right amount of stitches, but I didn't know until I blocked it. And it's one of those things for me, once I've seen it, I can't unsee it, so it's gonna bug me forever. So I think I want to rip back just the edging or trim or whatever you wanna call it, typically would be a button band, and reknit that and actually count the amount of stitches, because I feel like there's a difference. And I feel like, okay, so this is stretched wider than this. So I need to actually go through and count and see how many I've picked up on the side I like, and then go rip it all back and pick up that same amount. And that's something typically, like, I don't know, maybe I've done it on other things like that too and don't realize, or maybe I just got really wacky on this. I don't know. But it's not her fault that I did that, obviously, which duh, that's not the pattern designer's fault, but I just can't unsee it. And I feel like too, whenever I put it on, even though I did block it, you know, I blocked it to make it be the same, but it just looks different to me. And like, I feel like over time, the one side's gonna draw up a little bit, just, you know, it's gonna relax eventually and pull itself back. So I think I need to do that. But I want to tell you guys, so if you've never knit a cardigan or something that would have two sides that are even, learn from my mistake and count. So what I'm gonna do, and what I should have done in the beginning, but I didn't think about it, I'm gonna actually count, so this is one side, I'm gonna count from like here to here and see how many stitches I've picked up. I'm gonna put a locking stitch marker right here on the actual part that I'm not ripping back, and then do the same on this side so that I'll know. But on the side you pick up first, like obviously I'll count that and make sure. And then the same thing from here to here, and the same thing for the first half of the collar, and then on the next side I'll match it. And that's what I really should have done. And I don't know, it's just been a long time since I've picked up stitches, so obviously, duh, like I didn't think about it. But anyway, don't let that intimidate you though. If you're someone who's new to knitting and you haven't ever had to pick up stitches, just kind of be mindful whenever you're actually picking it up. Pick up the right ratio that she tells you, or that the designer tells you, and then make a note though, and do a stitch marker every once in a while, or not a stitch marker, yeah, like a locking stitch marker every once in a while, just so that you kind of know and you can kind of match it. Because if you're off by like 1 or 2 stitches, like each side, it's not going to be a big deal. But I feel like because of how different it is, I haven't counted it, and if I can remember then I will, but I feel like I've got to be off at least 10 stitches here, because look at the difference. I feel like I've got to be off like at least 10, and I might not be, but that's just kind of my, you know, assessment from afar. So this is actually a FO, but it's gonna get to be not a FO and then a FO again. It's not really a super big deal that I do it soon, but I just want to do it so that it'll be done. But it fits really great and I love it, and I would definitely recommend the pattern. You know, if you're interested in making it, I would highly, highly recommend this. It flew off the needles, and even the part that I need to redo, it only took me about 2 days to knit all of that ribbing. So it's not like it's a big, like, oh my gosh, I have to undo the whole sweater. It's just gonna take a couple of, you know, it'll take me a few minutes to actually write it out, frog it, and then reknit it. It'll take like maybe 2 days. So not a big time waster, but you know, had I thought it through, I could have been completely done. So anyways, that's the Campside Cardi, and that's what I've got to do. Now, I have a new cast on, and I love this. So I showed you guys this in things I was stocking last week, and this is the one that was French, and I was not really great with the name of it, but I think it's Marinier Modern. Maybe not, but I'm gonna call it that. So it's striped and textured, and it's awesome. So it's living in my fringe bag right now, and then I've actually shoved it in this little Deli-Q bag because I keep having to take it out. All right, so this is what I've done so far. I love it so much. So, all right, let me hold it up so you can see the texture, hopefully. Man, I'm really tangled. Ah. All right, so I hope you can see the texture. So the whole thing is a raglan, top-down raglan sweater, and it's textured, obviously, through the whole thing, except for the arms are not textured. The arms are just plain with stripes. It's going super fast, it's super fun to make, and what I'm doing, this is the back. So I was gonna do all green stripes, and I had all my green stripes. I had all my little green mini skeins laid out. I actually pulled a set from my shop. It's just one of the green mini sets in the shop. I had them all pulled, ready to go, and then I was thinking, man, you know, I really would like to put like a pink in there or something. That would be cute. And I was actually inspired by my little, I have a tea mug, and I wish I brought it in here. I meant to bring it in so I could show you guys. Anyway, I have a tea mug, and it's white, and it has little cactus, and there's one cactus that's a different color, and it has a pink flower on it, and all the rest of them are, you know, the same. So I was kind of inspired by that a little bit, which is a funny thing to be inspired by, but I love the color scheme of that. So these are actually all different color greens, and then, you know, a pink in there. And I think I'm gonna leave it at 4 colors. The pattern does call for 5 colors, but for the size I'm making, it's only supposed to be 65, I think, grams. So I'm gonna try to pull all these out and show you what I have. So, wow, I've made a mess. Okay, so these are the 5 greens that I have, and that one's getting really washed out. Okay, there we go. So these are the 5 greens that I have, and I'm not gonna use these 2 on the bottom, I think. I've really I started knitting with this one, and then I'm like, I don't know. Because I feel like it's bright, and then whenever you add this pink in here too, I just feel like it almost starts to take on a childish approach maybe, or feel, whatever, not approach, a childish like feel to it. And I really don't want that. I want something that's like girly, but also grown up and not like, I don't know. I have a tendency to make things that are kind of baby colors, I've noticed. And I don't know if that's weird or not. I'm just attracted to like bright, like fluorescent colors, and that's cool and all, but at the same time, I don't know. I kind of want some stuff that's a little bit more grown up. So I love that color, but I think I'm most likely not gonna put it in here. So what I think I'm gonna have is just what you see on the sweater so far. Let me see if I can put those somewhere. There we go. So it's just these. And I think that's really pretty. Which I don't know why I'm showing you like the balls of yarn, because I have the sweater started. But I'm just gonna keep going in that same striping sequence. And then I feel like this one's pretty dark. I mean, it is dark. It's a dark green. But I feel like it's kind of dark whenever you're further away, and I feel like it almost looks black, but I mean, it's not. But it does kind of almost look black. But the whole reason I'm making this, and I wanted a striped sweater, I mentioned this last week, I got boat shoes, and I want some striped shirts, striped sweaters to go with it, because I think it'd be really, really cute with shorts, a striped little like mid-sleeve sweater, and then my little boat shoes. So that's why I'm really trying to make a few striped things. Yeah. And then the only difference I'm going to make on the pattern, or changes I guess, is it's a long sleeve sweater, and I want to make it mid-sleeve, so that's going to be one change. And then I might make it a little bit longer than it calls for. I don't know. I don't really know how long it is, honestly, but I always like stuff a little bit longer. And then if I'm going to make mid-sleeves or something to wear shorts, then I want mid-sleeves rather than long sleeves. So that's what I'm going to do. And in case anyone's wondering, this is a needle keeper. It's called a Magic Wand needle keeper, and you can get them from a lot of different places. I think I got this one on Amazon, so I'll link it over in the link tree for you guys in case you want to get one yourself. But definitely check out your local yarn store. They might have them there too. So the other thing I actually need to go back and tell you guys about this. So I'm making the size 38. I did swatch which is something I don't normally do, but I did swatch because you were supposed to swatch in the textured part. And so I wanted to swatch and actually make sure, because that can make a really big difference in your, you know, your gauge and stuff. So whenever you have, you know, texture going on. So I swatched, I got gauge with the size that she recommended, which was, I guess it really doesn't matter, but it's a size US 4, which was a 3.5 millimeter. And like I said, I guess that really doesn't matter because you need to swatch anyway. So, yeah. But after I started making it and separated for the sleeves, I feel like it was a little bit wider than what I wanted it to be. So I did do some decreases after I separated for the sleeves. And I don't know how many stitches I decreased. I think probably maybe like 8 stitches or so. So it's technically the top part of it is the size 38, the stitch count for the 38, but then the size like from the underarms down is going to be somewhere between the 35 and a half and the 38. I feel like my shoulders are kind of wide. I used to work out and like lift a lot of really heavy stuff like myself, so I feel like my upper body is just like kind of wider still from that. I don't do that as much now, but it's still, I have like wider like shoulders from that. So yeah, basically I need a wider situation up here than down here. So I did make it go in a little bit, and that's the really good thing about knitting. You know, you can make it your own and make it fit you. Like if you're maybe not exactly the proportion that a pattern is written for, you can change stuff. So I hope I did the right thing on that. I did lay it over top of my sapila. I put it on bigger needles so I could lay it down over a sapila because I haven't blocked sapila yet. So it looked like it was about the same. It's actually still a little bit wider, but not so much wider that it makes like a huge difference. It's a few stitches wider, but I think it's going to be good. So at least I know it's not going to be too little, and at least I know it's not going to be quite as large, because it was, I kind of felt like it was going to be wider, like quite a bit wider, and I'm not into like really big boxy sweaters. So anyways, that's just a little nugget, I guess, of information. I don't really know that that matters to you guys, but yeah. So I think that's everything I have for you guys as far as knitting goes. I did put up a Yarn Yay unboxing the other day, which is actually, this little tote right here was in the Yarn Yay box. Yeah, there we go, for July. So that's where this came from. And this is super cute and convenient. It has a little pocket inside. And then I've just been, my project's still so tiny, so I've just been shoving this inside of my fringe bag, because that way I can have my other colors, my little whatever stripe colors, in my fringe bag, and then I'm just actually pulling this out and then grab another color as I go. So that's really fun and convenient. And if you don't have the Yarn Yay subscription, or if you don't want to get it, or if you missed it this month, I guess, you can get these bags on DellaQ.com, or it might be DellaQbags.com. Anyway, her bags, and you've probably heard of her before, but these little bags are like $15.50. And honestly, whenever I saw it, I was thinking, man, that's a little tiny bag. And it is small, but I think you could fit like a sock pattern project in here or something really easy. And it's actually really, really nice too. This is like, not canvas. Maybe it is. It's like, I don't know. It's just like this stuff. I can't think of what the name of this fabric is. Anyway, it's just like kind of like a canvasy type fabric, and then down here is a little bit different texture, but it's all super soft and I love it. It's super cute, and I'm really glad that I got it, because I would not have purchased a bag that little, but now that I have it, I'm like, man, I might need an additional one of those. So kind of a gateway thing, which I think is the whole point in the Yarn Yay box, is so you get something awesome and you're like, oh man, I need more of those. So anyways, but yeah, so that's all I have knitting related for you guys. I did start watching a show last night. It's an older show, and I watched 2 episodes, I think, of it. It's Heart of Dixie. I think it was a CW show. And it said it started in 2011, and what, I mean, it's 7 years later. I'm just now finding it. But anyway, so I started watching that. I kind of just needed something to watch because my husband wasn't with me. And you know how it is whenever you watch shows with somebody, like you can't watch your shows that you normally watch without them because like that's crap. You don't want to, you can't, you kind of run out of stuff to watch because we watch everything together and we both like the same things. So I had to find something that I could watch that I knew he wouldn't want to watch. So that's like kind of girly show and I knew he wouldn't care about that. So started watching it. It's super cute. It's about a girl. She's a doctor and she has to do like a residency somewhere, you know, so that she can, I guess, be a partner in a practice. So she has to do a thing. And she's from New York, and the only place that she wanted to work, basically, they wouldn't take her for whatever reason. There's a reason, but I'm not going to go into it and like ruin it for you if you haven't seen it. So she moves to Alabama, and like she's totally out of place because obviously those are two totally different places as far as culture and just, you know, way of life goes. So she moves there, and I've only watched the first 2 episodes, but it's really cute. And she's starting to kind of like, the place is starting to grow on her, and she's starting to feel like it's, you know, good. So I'm happy to watch that. And the awesome thing is I can watch it, you know, whenever, so I don't have to wait on somebody. And there's 4 seasons, I think. So I'm only on the 2nd episode of season 1. So, all right. That's all I have for you guys. Hope you're having an awesome week, and I will see you next Thursday with a new episode of Knit in the Zone. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.